Hey loves, so I wanted to make a video about what's been going on and also tips to make nursing school easier for you. So first, I really haven't been up to a whole lot. We went to Dubai, as you guys know, which I posted the one video. I was supposed to post more, but the editing was just taking way too long. And after that, I went to Florida, and my friend, well actually two of my friends had babies, so it's been a little bit busy as far as that goes. And then I've also just been working. I haven't done a whole lot of stuff for nursing school as far as reading goes, but I do still do the questions every day, and that's pretty much it. I've been slacking, but only because I really want to enjoy my summer, because this is my last year. I fully intend on going like full study mode, no games playing. Like, I want to do great. I want to get A's for my final grade. So I think it's important that I get A's so that my GPA is high, so that when I go to enroll for my BSN program next year, that I don't have any problems as far as admission goes. So, you know, I'm just gonna enjoy my break for possibly like 2 more weeks, because August 11th we find out where our clinical assignment will be. So we have 2 clinical days. One is going to be psych for about 5 weeks, and then we have med surg 2 for the rest of the semester. So I'm really excited to find out where I'll be going for my clinicals. Also, I'm really excited to know who's going to be in my clinical group. I'm really hoping it's my friends. I've missed them. I haven't really seen too many of them, but we do keep in contact. And it's crazy, like, I've really missed being in school, and I don't know if it's just because I no longer have like a school schedule, as far as like, you know, this day I'm going to clinicals, and after that I read, and then this is due, and you have to do clinical paperwork by Wednesday. And now I kind of just feel like it's a free-for-all. Like, I just go to work every day or when I'm on call, and I'm just kind of like, what's next? I need something else to do. So I'm really looking forward to starting class up again, and I'm really looking forward to graduating, because, you know, you can see like that end is almost near, and I want to finish off strong. But also, I want to give you guys tips about how to make nursing school a little bit easier on yourself. Now, this is not to say like how you can slack, because this is definitely not the video to tell you that. This is really just, you know, how to stay on top of everything and relieve some of the stress that you have. Because my first semester, I was definitely stressed out. I didn't know how to study. I felt like I didn't know how to take notes. I wasn't sure what to focus on when I was reading. My exams, I would get anxiety, all that stuff. And not to say that I don't get that anymore, but it's not as bad as what it used to be. I figured out the best way for me to study is with the study exam guides, and making that before the exam. So I type up whatever I read for that class, and I go into class, and then I add additional notes, and then as I when I do my reviews, or when I go through the actual study books like NCLEX books or Saunders, I go through, I do the questions, and I add in points to further understand my learning. But I think that was the best way for me. As far as reading, when I first started, I actually read a thing that was saying, like, you know, the best way to read a textbook is to first read all of the titles. I think read the first sentence and the last sentence of it, and you know, if you don't understand it, then read the full paragraph. But pretty much it was like a shortened way of how to read a textbook, so that you didn't have to read everything. And, you know, I thought it was good until I took my first exam, and then I realized this was not a good way. Like, nursing is not about trying to the easiest way to avoid learning. So, you know, if you really want to be a really good nurse, if you really want to be a really great nurse, you read the entire chapter. You read everything. You read what you're assigned, okay? And if you're really, really good, you'll read a little bit past that, because you don't want it just to be, you learn only the bare minimum. You want to know as much as possible, so that you're fully equipped and you're going to be a great nurse to whatever patient. Because if you think about it, God forbid you're in the hospital, or your family's in the hospital, do you really want a nurse that read the first sentence and the last sentence in every paragraph? I don't. So once I figured that was not the way for me to do it, I started reading everything, and I mean page for page. And it's tedious, it's long, it's annoying. I got tired of it, but guess what? I started getting A's on my exams. I ended up getting a final grade of a B. I think my final grade was an 89. I needed a 92 to get an A. So No, it wasn't an A, but I was pretty close, and I'm really proud of myself because we were told that second semester was the hardest semester, and I rocked second semester. So, you know, you gotta do what you have to do. So, here are my tips. 1, don't procrastinate. And this is the biggest tip I can give you is when you get an assignment, start it right away. Don't wait until, you know, a week before it's due. When you get your syllabus, you plan everything out. You look at your syllabus, you write down the dates that everything's due, and you start working on things little by little. So going forward, anytime you have anything due, get it started right away. Clinical paperwork, if you know you have clinicals on Monday and your clinical paperwork is due Wednesday, don't wait Tuesday, and do not wait Wednesday to get it done. Do it as soon as you get home, because it's a lot better knowing that something is done than forgetting about it and then rushing to get it done, because you never know if you're gonna have a power failure, your computer's not working, there's an emergency, you have to go somewhere, you get called into work, whatever it may be. Just finish it. It's a lot easier, and you will never look back and regret that, oh, I wish I didn't do it so early. No, what you will regret is, I wish I didn't wait so long to do it. So no procrastinating in nursing school. Absolutely not. There's no time for that. Also, use your time wisely. This is very important. Nursing school is a juggling act. You have to do school, you have to manage life. If you work, you have to do work, you know. Everything is, it gets difficult to try to manage everything. You have classwork, clinical assignments, you know, paperwork, reports, exams, all that stuff. So it's important that you start to figure out what works best for you. For one, and this is not a great thing, is I felt that, you know, going to the gym was just taking too much time for me, because I would drive 20 minutes there, 20 minutes back, and I'm at the gym for maybe 40 minutes to an hour. I'm like thinking, I'm like, that's 2 hours of time that I'm wasting. And that's not the best way to think about it, because I really do need to be healthy. But in my mind, it was better for me to study. So I slacked off with my working out so that I could study. I got A's, but I also gained some weight. As I see it, is I can lose the weight. You don't really want to go back and retake any exams or fail out, whatever. So you make your sacrifices. I have friends that have children. One of my really dear friends who I really care about, she has a daughter, and on Easter, you know, we had an exam, I think a couple days after that, and all she wanted to do was, you know, play with her child and be there for Easter and take pictures and enjoy the moment. But because we had an exam, she had to make a decision, and she decided to study. Now, it was hard for her at that time, and she felt like she was being a bad mom, but I can tell you this right now, no child is ever gonna say, Mom, you're a bad mom because you decided to study for an exam instead of, you know, play with me. I mean, at that point in time, yes, maybe they're a little sad, but I think it is a lot better to be able to provide for your child in the way that you need to, and give your child a great role model to show that even when you don't really want to do something, you do it out of commitment and out of the passion of you want to accomplish your goals. So I told her, I was like, you know, you're a strong woman and you're gonna get it done, and your daughter's gonna appreciate you for this later, and you want to set a strong example. And she, you know, she studied and she did well on her exam, and I'm very proud of her. So for any person that has any other time commitments, you have to think about what's important to you at that point in time. And not to say that, you know, your kids should ever go to the wayside. That's not what I'm saying at all. But I'm just saying that when there's certain things that are optional, that if you can spare that time to study, spare this time to study. Nursing school, for me, our program is 2 years. It's going to be rough for 2 years, but then you get to sit back a little bit later and you get to enjoy it. So, you know, do it right the first time around. Don't let it be a second time around because you want to play, or you want to go out, you want to go to someone's birthday party. You have to make sacrifices. You just have to figure out what's the better sacrifice for you. Is it doing a nursing school second time around because you didn't have time, because you were focusing on other aspects? Or are you going to do nursing school once and make it up to them later? So that's just my tip. Also, for me, also, because when I was working and going to schools, I would have to work 2 days out of the week, and then I had class 3 days out of the week. And after I would finish, like, let's say lab, if I got out a little bit early, what I would do is a study afterwards. Anytime that would have been needed for school. Like if I got out of class an hour early, which is very rare, that time was spent as if I was in class. I'm studying, I'm researching something, I'm typing up notes, I'm editing notes, I'm doing something. But any time that is free time that you find yourself that you're thinking, oh, you know, I could be doing this for nursing school, do it. Don't sit and just, you know, veg out and stuff like that. Just do it, you know, and you'll thank yourself for it later. Not to say that you can't relax and have your downtime. Definitely have your downtime, because you don't want to have a nervous breakdown or anything like that. My time for me to relax was really on, I would say on the weekends. I would give myself maybe 2 to 3 hours where I wouldn't do anything nursing school wise. But at the end of it, at the end of the day, I always did something for nursing school. And it's important that you do, because it keeps your mind fresh. You're constantly thinking of what your end goal is, and you get things done quicker. So use your time wisely. Time management. Meal prep, I would say that was definitely a time saver for me. That was huge. Not only did I lose weight doing the meal prep, but it also saved me a lot of time and a lot of headache. The one thing I hated the most about, you know, just cooking dinner regularly is trying to figure out what I want to eat or what my sister wants to eat, or, you know, putting a grocery grocery shopping list together, and you're trying to think like, oh, what do I want for this week and what do I want for that week, and cooking every day. That's all time wasted. So I started using Fit Girls Guide, and I found them on Instagram, and they have ebooks with meal preps that have the grocery list, the recipes, and it also has like a workout schedule for you to follow. Even if it's just like, you know, maybe you make lasagna, you eat the lasagna for 2 or 3 days, or you do slow cooker meals or something. Anything to cut down on your time of cooking so that you can spend it doing something else for nursing school is a great idea. Effective study groups. That's another one of my tips. So, I know everyone wants to get together and complain and talk about their study group, and, you know, they want to talk about their teachers and how hard school is and all that stuff. Yeah, sure. And there's always a time and place for that. You maybe spend 10-15 minutes where you BS, and then you get back to it. Do not have a study group of more than 4 people. I would say keep your study group small, but also keep your study groups to people who want to do well. You don't want to take it, and I don't want to downplay anyone else's struggle or their work ethic or anything like that, but know the person and I know their work ethic, then I'll be fine with it. However, if I know the person and I know they do not have a good work ethic, and they're now trying to like save their grade because they've goofed off on 3 exams and it's now the 4th exam they want to get serious, no, can't be in the study group. And it sounds mean and whatever, but I look at the study group as something that's supposed to be for everyone to learn. This is not a time for me to tutor anyone. It's not a time for the rest of the group to tutor someone, or, you know, whatever with their friends. And having friends in nursing school is great because not a lot of people understand the struggle of nursing school. But at the same time, if your friend is not doing well, do not allow them to, you know, bring you down to that path. Don't spend so much time helping them that you don't help yourself, okay? Nursing school is definitely a team effort when you're at clinicals, but as far as studying goes, it's not a team. It's yourself. It's you who needs to know that information. It's you who they're giving that exam to. So, it sounds mean, but you have to be a shark sometimes, and there's a big difference between helping someone and then letting it take you down because you're helping them too much. So help them, but keep in mind where your limit is and when it's like you're giving up too much of yourself, that you are not doing what you need to do, okay? As far as what else for the study groups, I would say come in with a plan of what needs to be, what you need to go over, like what are areas that you're having troubles with most. Go over that. Definitely quiz each other and listen to everyone's rationale about why they chose things. Always come up with, always bring like some kind of resource or something with you so that you can further understand what you're doing. So if you bring a Saunders book and it says like this is the answer for this reason, bring another resource, especially your textbook, to to find the answer in that book as well, because you want to make sure you really understand this, because when the exam comes, you want to make sure that you understand the whole thing of it, and you're not just spitting back the information that was given, but you actually know why you're doing something. How my study groups go is each person typically brings in a resource. We try not to have 2 or 3 of the same resource because it doesn't actually help anything. We go through the lectures, then we go through our study guides, and we do questions, and then we go over the rationales, and we listen to each other's rationales, and then we you know, maybe edit our notes a bit to match what the correct answer was. And that's pretty much it. How much time do I spend in study groups? Not a whole lot. I guess actually a lot. I spend anywhere from maybe 5 to 6 hours. If the person I'm with or the group that I'm with are willing to go longer, I will also go longer, because it's important. A lot of times hearing something from the way someone else explains something can help you a lot. So it's important to have different minds, but you want it to be people that you know are working just as hard as you are. Okay? Another resource, another tip is study at places where you can get free resources. So for instance, Barnes & Nobles, they have nursing textbooks. You can go there, you can look at the other textbooks, you can practice different questions that you may not have from that book. There's Quiet Place, there's Wi-Fi. Don't get distracted with the Wi-Fi. There's a lot of Starbucks have a lot of Barnes & Nobles have Starbucks, so you can refresh yourself or grab something to eat or keep you motivated. So that is my #1 place to go when I study. And if I'm doing a study group, a lot of times I'll study on campus, because they'll have like they have study rooms in our at our school. So there's like a table that can hold 5 or 6 of us, and we'll sit in there. The Sonder book was the best book I could have ever bought. I definitely recommend getting an NCLEX Sonder comprehensive review book, whatever edition that you can get your hands on, and it's great. It correlates a lot to whatever our exams are, and I've never looked at a Saunders book and said like, oh, that information is wrong compared to what we were told. Whereas with the success books, there have been times that they've said certain things that didn't correlate to what our teacher said, so I focus more on that. Not to say that the success books are bad, they aren't. Just as far as med-surg goes, it didn't help me at all. But for the Matt Child and pediatrics, it was very, very good for us. I just didn't care for med-surg. Also for fundamentals, it was great. I live by that book for fundamentals. Also, when you start your semester, I would say get a feel for your teachers. Figure out what it is that they expect from you as far as exams go, and you can ask them. You just say, like, you know, when you test for exams, what is it that you focus on? Some teachers say, like, you know, you want to focus on the priority, you want to focus on, well, you're always going to focus on the priority. You want to look for the what if situations. I'm not even sure. You just focus on the thing. Ask them what they focus on the most. You also want to know where do they pull their material from. And you can ask them that, and a lot of them will say they pull it from their textbook. Some will say I pull it from the lectures. So whatever they pull their material from, focus on that the most. Our school told us straight up that they focus on the book. And when I started reading the book word for word, page for page, I started doing great. Now, that's not to say that it's a guarantee that you'll do great. I had friends that read the book just as I did, and they may not have done great. But it's important that you always follow up with something else to reinforce your learning. I remember when I was in undergrad for my bio degree, a professor told us that, you know, it is our job as students to listen to what the professor is saying to you, but it's also your own personal job, not only as a student but as a person, to always question what someone tells you. You don't just accept what people tell you and just take it as that. You need to reinforce it yourself. You need to really understand why something is the way that it is. Yep. So I think that's it for my tips. If I think of any other tips, I will let you guys know. Also, I decided, because I'm getting close to 500 subscribers, that I will do a giveaway. I'm not sure what I'm going to put in for the prize. I'm thinking possibly school supplies and maybe something like a nursing tool, like I don't know, maybe a pen light or a blood pressure cuff or something like that. Maybe you guys will get something really good, we'll see. But yeah, so I hope everything goes well for everyone, and if you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask me. For all the new incoming students, I wish you guys the best of luck. Do not procrastinate, manage your time wisely, pick your friends wisely. You know, good luck, and if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm always here. Alright, talk to you guys later. Bye.